At a routine France training session, an offhand line from Jules Koundé arrived like a dropped gauntlet. He called Kylian Mbappe's role as captain a natural and said the forward inspires respect among his teammates. The remark landed oddly familiar and strangely fierce at once. Familiar because football is full of grudging admiration, and fierce because Barcelona and Real Madrid are still sworn enemies on the pitch. Imagine two gladiators who keep sharpening their swords against each other, and then one pauses to nod at the other's stance. That nod is what Koundé gave. It's small, but in sport small things often have oversized consequences. A sentence on a training ground becomes tomorrow's headline, fuels endless debates on talk shows, and gives social feeds something to clutch and argue over. Koundé's words are careful. He didn't heap praise like a fanboy. He described presence, conversation, shared responsibility, the quiet architecture of leadership rather than the loud fireworks of scoring. He's very present with his teammates, always willing to talk, Koundé said, framing leadership as work, as proximity, as day-to-day currency. Those details matter because they convert a superstar's image from solo performer to someone who carries others with him. That's the currency of captaincy, not just the ability to change a game with a burst of speed or a rocket of a shot, but the ability to make those around you feel steadier, bolder, and more aligned. This is particularly striking when placed beside last year's whispers. There were moments when Mbappé's armband felt precarious, a topic of conversation when he missed consecutive squads and pundits wondered aloud if his leadership was substantive or symbolic. Koundé's comment suggests the ledger has been balanced, perhaps even tipped in Mbappé's favour. When a professional rival acknowledges a peer's leadership, it rarely happens without reason. Such recognition implies daily locker room authenticity. That teammates listen, that responsibilities are shared. That respect is earned, not merely assigned. And yet the story refuses to sit comfortably in mere admiration. There is a delicious paradox baked into the numbers. Mbappé has proven himself as a terror in front of Barcelona's goal, netting repeatedly 5 goals in 4 matches, an especially electric hat-trick that still echoes. Yet, in the ledger of wins and losses, he is oddly without triumph over the Catalan side. Goals glitter, but results govern narratives. So while Mbappé's boots have spoken against Barcelona, the scoreboard has not obliged with full vindication. That tension, sensational individual performance shadowed by collective defeat, adds texture to Koundé's compliment. Is he praising the person who can score against his club or the leader who holds his own country together? Club fans will bristle, of course. Pride is a stubborn thing. To hear a Barcelona defender laud a Real Madrid player is to feel the familiar sting of betrayal, even when the words are sincere. Rivalries are rituals, and rituals demand hard lines. Still, sport also thrives on contradictions. The same stadiums that host battles also host respect. The same scarves waved in anger can be folded, placed aside, and then waved again in celebration for a national cause. Koundé's comment reminds us of that messy coexistence, fierce on the weekend, united by national colours midweek. What could this mean for the next El Clasico? Headlines will nudge managers and captains into questions they didn't ask yesterday. Does leadership tilt the psychological balance before the whistle blows? Will commentators use Koundé's words to craft narratives about Mbappé's growing influence at Real Madrid, or about a Barcelona mentality that now publicly recognises its nemesis? And in the France camp, does such cross-club respect smooth internal dynamics, or does it harden alliances along club lines? These are the small dramas beneath the big game, and they often decide how teams breathe together under pressure. In the end, Koundé's compliment is both a mirror and a riddle. It reflects Mbappé's growing status beyond flash and flare into a quieter authority. It also asks a question about sport's strange dualities: scoring without winning, rivalry without contempt, admiration from across the divide. Fans will argue whether a few words change anything. Coaches will measure how such words affect morale. Players will keep doing what they do best: preparing, competing, trying to convert respect into results. Until the next encounter at the Bernabeu or Camp Nou, this moment sits in the middle, small but telling, simple but layered. The applause of one opponent does not win trophies, but it might just be the beginning of a different kind of story. one where leadership becomes as compelling as goals and respect complicates rivalry in the most public of theatres.